all. Today we have a very successful Danya Sherman with us. She is a founder and CEO of KnoNap, which we'll know shortly about what it is. And she's also listed in Forbes 30 under 30, and she's my fellow MBA candidate at Georgetown. Danya, welcome to this conversation. And would you mind talking about yourself and your company and give a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure, I'd love to. So first off, thanks for having me. I am the founder and CEO of a company called KnoNap. KnoNap is a cocktail napkin and beverage accessories that are able to be utilized in social settings. We work to empower, educate, and advocate against drug-facilitated sexual assault and crime. So KnoNap is a napkin that is capable upon saturation of detecting specific drug, date rape drug presence. So working to combat drug-facilitated crimes in and around college campuses and through empowerment, education, and advocacy.
Very nice, very nice. So, would you like to talk about how the inception of this concept actually happened?
Sure. So I started KnoNap when I was an undergraduate student, and I was actually in a college course called Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership. And through the course, we had to put pen to paper for a business plan. And I had been thinking of an idea similar to KnoNap for a while. And that's how I was able to get the business model thought through. I was a student at the George Washington University. So I was in GW's competition, made it to the final round, and ended up receiving Audience's Choice Award for KnoNap.
Wow.
And then from there, went on to be a participant in Halcyon's incubator program. Halcyon is a early stage social incubator I should say it's an early stage incubator for social companies that are early stage. And it was an amazing program. And that's how I genuinely got my start. I met some amazing people that are still to this day some of my closest friends and colleagues. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's really good to know. So, what are the highlights or success story that you would like to celebrate whenever you think of your baby? Like, yeah, I did a great job inventing this thing.
Yeah, I think that the journey of KnoNap as a whole has been really humbling from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
When I started KnoNap, it was the prior to the Me Too movement, and the conversation around sexual violence
Mm-hmm.
and especially drug facilitated crimes was not as championed on college campuses as it was post Me Too movement. So
Mm-hmm.
seeing the prior and post was really humbling. I would say every time that I have the opportunity to speak with individuals and to be humbled and honored with them coming to me and saying, thank you for the work you're doing. I've been personally affected. I know someone that's been personally affected. That's been the greatest success story for me, to be able to say this is an issue much larger than myself. And we're doing something to empower individuals inclusively, men and women, regardless of age, gender, sexual orientation, geographic location, about an issue that affects millions internationally. So I have stories and anecdotes along the journey that are fun, but as a whole, I've just been constantly honored to have undertaken this initiative and company and be able to grow it to where it is today.
Really, really happy and also proud of you. I feel so privileged that I am with you in the class. Such an amazing initiative. So, were you always planning to do something for women, and were you always thinking of advocating health, nutrition, and towards this social consciousness? What drove that? What was the when was it in your whole journey did you decided to go towards or pivot your career towards that direction?
Yes, that's a great question. When I started KnoNap, I was working on Capitol Hill, actually, in a legislative capacity in a congressman's office. And I had been thinking about doing KnoNap for a while, and I started it. I think I was a sophomore in undergrad. Um, so it was something that I just kept championing. When I got into Halcyon's program, I was thinking, okay, like there's validity. When I got Audience's Choice Award, I said there's validity to what we're doing. It's just constantly validating the market and also validating the issue and people wanting to champion the issue. And again, that's why the conversations following the Me Too movement and Time's Up movement were so crucial, because you cannot empower yourself against an issue that you're not familiar with. So
Mm-hmm.
by having that discourse, people were more comfortable to talk about the issue of sexual
Yes.
violence and drug facilitated crimes. Again, the company is very inclusive, and I take that stance so strongly that the issue of drug facilitated crimes can affect anyone,
Yep.
regardless of age, gender, sexual orientation, geographic location. So that's why the narrative is very commonly around women being drugged and assaulted and men being drugged and robbed, but it can affect anyone.
Yep.
And that's been one of the most, again, humbling experiences, was having from the beginning, actually, a few of my guy friends saying, Danya, I was at a bar with some of my girlfriends. I drank their drink and was drugged. Or, I was drugged and my wallet was taken. It's a big issue that can affect anyone. So that's why the inclusivity is something that I personally am very passionate about. Uh, as far as nutrition and health, I think that in entrepreneurship and in any occupation, right, it is so important to prioritize your physical and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you can't be performing at peak. And so recently, since quarantine, I've picked up cycling. I've been really trying to focus on physical health, which in turn helps mental health, I've noticed, at least for me.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been a really, really interesting time.
Yeah. Very nice to know. So, what's the footprint of your product right now? Is it available only in the US, or are you planning to go global? Or
So
have
we're
you
planning.
already?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're planning on going global. We'll be launching later this year, and in time. So if people are interested in learning more, they can sign up on our newsletter on our website at knonap.com
Mhm.
and knonap.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can learn more about our initiatives, what we're doing education wise, as far as outreach, and also getting our product and access to our product when that launches.
The reason why I ask this question is, and I feel in countries like developing countries like India or any other developing country, it will be very, very helpful for women. And I guess your product will be amazing, and it'll receive amazing accolades and appreciation if it's in those available in those countries.
No, absolutely. And one of the things that again I've been honored with is that we have individuals internationally that have reached out with interest, and it just further proves that there's no geographic bound to this
Mm-hmm.
issue, and that's why the inclusivity and availability is something that we're really trying to prioritize so
Mm-hmm.
that anyone can have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really trying to not make cost a rate limiting factor,
Yeah.
where if you want it, it shouldn't be a luxury to prioritize your personal safety and health.
Wow, that's really, really amazing that you said that. That stood out for me. So anything like this, a business or any initiative, definitely might have some challenges, and you might have come across some hurdles and challenges. Do you have any stories to share with us that are your like biggest challenges and hurdles in this journey?
One of the big hurdles from the beginning was around the conversation
Mm-hmm.
of sexual violence, and people not necessarily wanting to engage in awareness, or also just having those conversations. So again, I think the Me Too movement and Time's Up movement really changed the trajectory of where we were able to go
Mm-hmm.
because it enabled that conversation, and people were engaging with it more. And you
Mm-hmm.
can't, and I've been saying this from the beginning of starting the company, you can't empower yourself against an issue you're not familiar with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where education with Title IX offices, making sure that when you go to college, right, you're trained and really educated on consent and bystander awareness.
Yep.
But there has to be equal education around drug facilitated crimes,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, statistically, previously people were only learning about it if they were affected or someone close to them was, and
Yep.
at that point it's too late.
Yep.
So that was a big hurdle, is just engaging in that conversation and getting people comfortable and aware enough to engage. And again, that's why the inclusivity is something I really strongly take to heart, to the
Mm-hmm.
heart of the company also, because everyone needs to be involved in a conversation to create social change. And by narrowing it down to people that, to just any demographic, right? You're not doing justice to everyone else who can equally be affected.
Yep.
And that's something that I'm very passionate about, and is a big part of our mission.
Wow. So now let's talk about you being listed in the Forbes 30 under 30. It must definitely be a very proud moment for you. Would you like to share your experiences about that?
Yeah, it was one of an extremely humbling experience. I remember getting an email. I think it was like a
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday morning. I check my emails every morning before I get up, and see if there are any fires I need to put out, or any what the day will look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting an email saying congratulations. There was a little scream, and then I ran into my sister's room. I called my parents, and we just had the opportunity to celebrate that together. And the list was public, so I learned that I had made the list when everyone else learned that who was on the list. So
Wow.
we didn't get a heads up on that. Um, and yeah, to just be listed among such distinguished and amazing social entrepreneurs, because I was on the Forbes 30 under 30 social entrepreneur list.
Yep.
To make that list is great validity to the issue that we're working to champion, and also great validity to the work that we're doing in empowering, educating, and advocating against drug facilitated sexual assault and crime.
Yep. Amazing. Amazing. That's why I really feel yours is a one of the most inspiring success stories in such a young age. You've achieved so much and you're trying to do something for a social cause. And it's truly, truly a very proud moment for everybody who's associated with you.
Well, thank you. And likewise, the feeling is the same, right? Like, I am so honored to be able to be in a program with such brilliant people, such as yourself, and to learn alongside you and our colleagues. And I fervently believe that in those programs, right, I am honored to learn alongside people that are educated in areas that are very different from my expertise, which is why you go to school, right, is
Yeah.
to learn and grow alongside people that are like-minded and also not like-minded. And I think that's been a great asset. I went right from undergrad at the George Washington University, taking MBA classes at GW, to getting an MBA at Georgetown, and being able to see, even while I was at GW in undergrad and taking those classes, the benefit that education allotted me and enabled me to have in advancing KnoNap, and even being able to do school alongside
Yeah.
KnoNap was fun and very different from a lot of my friends and peers who are also entrepreneurs, who dropped out of college, moved to California to live the startup life. And
Yeah.
I'm envious of different parts of their journey, but also I acknowledge that I would not have my journey any other way. I get to meet amazing people like you and continue to learn and grow my company in a way that I found is very beneficial.
Yeah. That leads to my next question, partly which you've already answered. Like, why did you choose to do an MBA? A lot of people might have at least thought about it. Like, she's founder and CEO of a company. Why does she even need an MBA?
Yeah, I would say that there's literally only benefits to an education. Um, the one thing my parents used to always tell us, this the one thing that someone can't take away from you is what's in your head.
Yeah.
You like you can take away literally, I mean that's getting a little dark, but you could take away everything from someone
Mm-hmm.
minus what they have in their head,
Mm-hmm.
their education, who they are at the core, their heart, empathy, and so education was always something that was very, very much emphasized ever since I was young, and seeing what an education can do in just making people more aware of different facets. And I know I've in entrepreneurship learned through hard knocks, i.e. doing, not succeeding, having very interesting learning opportunities and growing. Or you can learn in an academic setting different
Mm-hmm.
foundations of theory, how to look at situations and problems. And I found that when I mix the two, so being able to take what I learn in the classroom
Mm-hmm.
and use it applicably in my company,
Mm-hmm.
has just been so fascinating. And obviously there are things where there's not overlap and you learn things just to learn things and be aware of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been humbled to be able to grow my company alongside school, and I've seen that being a student has also helped in being able to get connections. When you
Mm-hmm.
say you're a student entrepreneur, there are different doors that are open for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not better, not worse than not being a student entrepreneur, but just different.
Yeah.
And it's also great for me to grow my network and again meet amazing people like you and our other classmates that have expanded my insights and knowledge.
That's good to know. So, as a last note for all the people who are going to watch this interview, what's your advice for anybody who want to start a company and who want to grow or be entrepreneurs? Any
Yeah.
suggestions or lessons that you've learned?
Yeah, I would say just do it. There are so many reasons why not to do something, and maybe only one reason why to do it. And that one reason outweighs all the risks and everything else associated. I would say that entrepreneurs have a high tolerance for risk and uncertainty. So
Mm-hmm.
the first thing now I've had to be comfortable with is comfortable with the uncomfortable, the comfort in uncertainty, and just being aware that you can reach out to people and ask for help when you need it, right? Like I have a mentor who was so amazing. His name is Borzu,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a company called Falcon Labs out in Tyson's Corner in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And he was helping me with marketing and branding, and
Mm-hmm.
still is great company. And I said to him one time, I called him, I said, Borzu, we were having a heart to heart. Borzu, why are you helping me? like like I was, living in DC. I've lived there now, will be 6 years. You're I'm very aware of the transactionalness of relationships in DC and in other cities such. I said, why are you helping me so with such heart, right? And such care. And he said to me, Danya, there's no such thing as a self-made entrepreneur. I was where you were and people helped me. I'm where I am now, so I reach my hand out so I can help people coming up. And that was one sentence, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, that I still hold very close to my heart. And it's very true sentiment. It's when you can give back, and when you need help, ask for it. Because there are people that have been where you are
Mm-hmm.
and want to give back and help. So just ask, and the worst that someone says is no.
Yep.
That's what I've learned.
Wow, amazing words, and I really appreciate your suggestion and advice for everybody. And thank you so much, Danya. I know you have such a busy schedule, and you just said yes to me like in the last minute. And I appreciate you taking time and talking to me and sharing your experiences. Wish you all good luck and wish you only success going forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And likewise to you too.
Thank you.